Hello, everybody. How you doing? You're welcome to the channel. So, Chelsea fell to a draw against Newcastle United. Yes, I'll say fell to a draw. Although I know lots of people will be happy that with the fact that Chelsea came back from a goal down, to equalize, maybe. And I would admit that a point is better than no points, obviously. But looking at how that first half went, the first half was terrible, absolutely terrible in my humble opinion. I felt that Chelsea could have been a bit better that first half. For me, I felt like Fofana was bad in the first half. He was to blame for the goal, in my opinion, because Newcastle United were going to press. They were going to play high octane football. They're going to put pressure on you. They're not going to let you play out easily from the back. And Fofana had that ball. He had the ball. He had options ahead of him where he could just easily pass that ball. Take this off a bit. It's hard over my head. But could have easily passed that ball for Fofana. But he chose to hold on to the ball for way too long, in my humble opinion. And then Chelsea considered that goal. He held on to the ball for way too long, in my opinion. Right? He could have let that ball go a lot sooner. Put this on, and I think so. Yeah. He could have let the ball go a lot sooner, in my humble opinion. But he just kept on with the ball and lost it. And the moment he lost it, I just said that would be a goal, because you had everyone pushing up, up the park, and then the back line was empty, and he was at fault again for the second goal. Although I think everyone has a share of the blame for that second goal. So 2-0 to Newcastle United, end of the first half. Second half, Chelsea showed more fight, showed more bite, willingness, to press higher. And one thing, João Pedro, even before his goal in the second half, the way he was playing, I asked myself, where has all this been? This intensity, this energy, this ability to run. So for me, whatever Maresca told them in the dressing room, I would say kudos to him. Kudos to him. Whatever he said, he should be saying that before game starts, because I think he really got under their skin and riled them up. Now, before I go on to talk about other Chelsea players and other things that went on in the game, I have to talk about the referee. Now, some people may say, why are you blaming the referee? Why are you talking about the referee? One thing I'll say is he was poor. There were fouls on Palmer that he didn't give, and he gave advantage that's allowing Newcastle United to be on the ball. Sorry, just going to sort this out. Allowing Newcastle United to be on the ball, whilst a Chelsea player was fouled, the Chelsea player was brought down. While the Chelsea player was brought down, for me, I didn't quite get it, right? I didn't quite understand. I was really upset by it, because why would you, one moment you're not giving a free kick for a foul on Caicedo, and then the next moment you're giving a free kick for a supposed foul on Bruno Guimaraes for a similar sort of, a tackle or entanglement, or how you want to call it. So, and that's the thing for me, when you sign young players, when you allow the quality of your team to be almost at par with the teams you're playing against, then you allow the referees to become superstars in the game. And that's what happened, in my opinion. I think that made the referee a superstar in this game. He controlled the game to a large extent. Now the free kick for Reece James, wonderful, exquisite free kick. That's something we love to see, from Reece James. That's something we love to see from Reece James. I think Garnacho, what I'll say is this about Garnacho. Garnacho, while he is better than Gittins, he still has holes in his game. But I'll still play him over Gittins. I'll still play Garnacho over Gittins, in my humble opinion. I'll put my hat back on. Yeah, but I'll still play Gittins. I'll still play Garnacho over Gittins, in my opinion, because I think he gives you more. Put my hat back on. He gives you more. He looks willing to take on his man. He looks willing to chase his man down. Sometimes the dribble doesn't come off. Like there was once he lost the ball, and it almost led to a counter-attack for Newcastle United, but he's willing to go at his man. But Gittins, for whatever reason, plays within himself, doesn't feel like he can go at his man for whatever reason, whether he hasn't yet got used to playing in the Premier League or he's lacking confidence or whatever the reason is. So for me, I will continue to go with Garnacho because that's where the directors have kept Chelsea. You have to choose between, mud or muddy water. So you just have to pick one. None of them are great, but you just have to pick one. Garnacho goes at man. Gittins doesn't really look like doing it. So Neto, I think, was okay. He wasn't fantastic in this game. And the fact that Estevao William didn't even get even a minute in this game, for me, that's a question we have to answer. Because for me, I feel like the thing with Brazilians is they are more emotional. They play with their heart rather than their head. So once you begin to bench a player like Estevao, it may affect his confidence. I don't know what you think about it, but I think you may go on and affect his confidence. So Chelsea fans, let me know his opinions on that bit. And then Palmer, I think Palmer was okay. He's still trying to get into the swing of things. He's trying to get used to, playing high competitive game after being out for so long. So I wouldn't judge him too harshly, but gradually he's getting minutes under his belt. And nice to see he didn't get injured despite the best attempts of the referee. He was letting fouls go way too much on Palmer. That should have been free kicks and should have been yellow cards. Nah, that was poor. Now, I have to give kudos to Robert Sanchez because I am one of the best people that criticize Sanchez. What else? And for me is, my thing is, I would be fair 110%. I can't be critical of a player. I can't be critical of a coach. But when they come good, I give them their props. When they do something right, I give them their props. I'm not static in how I criticize coaches, players, how I criticize goalkeepers. So what I'll say is he has been very good in the past matches, in the past games. And in this game, he made a brilliant save even for that goal that was caught. But it was messed up and Woltemade lashed onto it and scored. He's becoming a really very good. He's proving to be a very good striker in the Premier League. That Newcastle striker Woltemade. But overall, how do you see this, Chelsea fans? How do you see? Do you see this as 3 points gained? As a point gained or 2 points dropped? For me, given what Chelsea wants to achieve this season, for me going to the season, I looked at this to say Chelsea can't really compete for the Premier League because looking at the strikers that Chelsea got, Chelsea didn't really sign, a very little clinical striker. Chelsea signed strikers like Liam Delap, that's developmental. Chelsea signed João Pedro, that we trying to figure out where's his best position. Is he a 10? Is he an actual striker? Is he a wide player? So when he's on form, people want to call him a striker. When he's not on form, people want to call him a withdrawn forward or a 10 or an 8 or whatever. So for that reason, I could not say Chelsea could be title contenders. And then for the goalkeeping situation as well, although Robert Sanchez, I would admit, have been fairly decent this season so far, I just couldn't say Chelsea would be in title challenge. So my expectations coming to the season was be the best of the rest, which meant beating the likes of Newcastle United, beating Bournemouth, beating those Sunderland, beating every other team apart from the traditional, from the teams like your Man City, your Arsenal, maybe your Liverpools. But right now it seems like Chelsea are getting better results playing against playing against Arsenal, playing against Liverpool, and maybe we'll get a better result against Man City when we get to play later on the season. But dropping points to Newcastle United, I think Chelsea can't be happy with it. Yes, you can take positive from the second half performance. Came in the second half, 2 goals down, rallied, fought back, and then you find yourself in Champions League spots. Although Manchester United are 3 points behind, although Chelsea have a better goal difference. Crystal Palace are 3 points behind. I think Chelsea also have a better goal difference. So maybe that will see Chelsea ride the tide and finish up in 4th spot, at least for this weekend. But overall, I just look at it and say, no, Chelsea should really be disappointed in this. And I have to call out Enzo Maresca. Yes, he rallied the troops in the second half. Yes, he got them playing with more aggression, with more passion, in the second half. So top marks to him in that regard. But This is decision not to allow his fullbacks help out his wingers could cost Chelsea, and I think it contributed to why Chelsea didn't win this game. I think it was part of the reason Chelsea didn't win this game because you kept on seeing Neto being isolated, 3-on-1, 2-on-1 every time. You kept seeing the same thing with Garnacho, although there was a certain opening, but it would have been a lot better if you had your fullbacks actually going out to provide that help, uh, for the wingers. So in that regard, I have to call him out. And then the first half as well, how the team played. The second half, I think he did very well. Fofana, I must talk about Fofana. I don't know what you think about Fofana. Fofana, just as everyone would call out Tosin, as who will call out Tosin, as who will call out Fofana, as who call out Tosin, you have to call out Fofana. That goal is a goal you shouldn't be considering. That is a goal you should not be considering at all. Because Chelsea were on the counter, you had the ball, there are options ahead of you that you could lay the ball to, but you didn't. But you didn't lay the ball to anyone. And then Chelsea went on to concede that goal. So for me, Fofana, no. So for me, Fofana, I think has an issue. He really does have an issue, in my humble opinion. Needs to take the game a little more seriously. I would say this: the kind of central defenders that Chelsea needs, at least that Enzo Maresca needs, is the sort of central defender that Fofana is. That is a central defender that can hold the ball, that can hold the ball and carry the ball from defense to midfield and lay the ball off. But his decision making has to get better. He's not a kid anymore. He's in his mid-20s right now, so he can't be making those sort of errors because he had the ball under control and he could feel the pressure. He could feel the pressure of the Newcastle player Gordon behind him, and he could have laid that ball on and then allowed the team to progress. Because that's it. This game could have been won. This game was a game that was determined by who scored first. Against Newcastle United, they like to press, and if you score them first, they will begin to press even more and give you more opportunities to play the ball, quick balls in behind. But when they score you first, then they can set up defensively and make life horrible for you. And they did that in the first half. Second half, like I said, top marks to Maresca. Whatever I say to the team, he did well. And I think Enzo coming on the pitch changed the game up a bit because I think he playing that deep line playmaker role. He I think, brought something different in terms of helping control balls and playing those quick passes from that deep line playmaker role to your João Pedros, your Netos, and your Garnachos, Palmer. Caicedo was very good as well in this game. I think if he had struck the ball differently, probably would have scored. But overall, I think he was good. And thankfully, Chelsea didn't concede a penalty. And now back to Reece James. I must praise Reece James for, first off, that goal. Brilliant goal. That free kick. Absolutely beautiful, exquisitely executed free kick. And then that last ditch tackle to prevent Chelsea from conceding. Because it felt like that kind of game. It felt like Chelsea could score, and it felt like Chelsea could also lose that game. So I want to know, where do you think Chelsea are going to finish the season? Where do you think Chelsea will finish? Do you think top four is a lock in? Do you think Chelsea are locked in to finish in top four? For me, I would like to see Chelsea finish in the top four. I would like to see Chelsea finish third, but I'm not all too convinced because looking at this performance, how the game went, these are the sort of games you go in and win in how you have to win it. These are the games you win. Because when you have to play like Man City, Arsenal, those games you're not guaranteed to have your 3 points. You probably at best draw, and then you lose some. So the games against Newcastle, the game against Bournemouth, the games against Aston Villa, the games against also opposition, those are the games you should be winning, getting your 3 points in, and let's move on. So Blue Lounge, have a question. Okay, let me hear your question. Okay, Blue Lounge, the Blue Lounge, let me hear your question. What's the question? Where am I from? Am I from that question? Mm. Where am I from? That's what I mean. Okay. I live in the UK. That's it. Nigerian. So yeah. Any more questions? I've answered the question. Blue Lounge. So for me, want to know your thoughts and opinions on the game. Want to know your opinions on, Garnacho. Would you substitute him for Gittins? Would you take him? Or would you? What would you do? I know he wasn't too great today. He made lots of errors going into the game. In the game, 1v1 versus what's his name is Miley, and Miley isn't a traditional fullback. He kind of just is a makeshift fullback. I think he's more of a central midfielder than anything else. So for me, I just feel like he could have done a lot better. But he's someone that is ready to go at his man, as opposed to Gittins that just hides behind. Once he feels any sort of pressure, he just decides that he doesn't want to take on his man, which is just absolute madness to me. Absolute madness. So I think we'll go with Garnacho. Oh, because of the hat? Yeah, well, yeah. The hat, that's an Igbo hat, traditional cap for Igbo people in Nigeria. So that's it. That's fair. That's fine. So Blue Lounge, I have a question for you. How would you rate Garnacho's performance today? How would you rate Garnacho's performance? How would you rate Garnacho's performance? For me, Garnacho, I've been giving my opinion on him. I just think he's the best of a bad bunch of wingers that's on that left-hand side. Gittins doesn't look ready for the Premier League. In fact, he doesn't look ready for any competition. Doesn't look ready for any competition, in my opinion. We see him in the Champions League, hasn't been great. I think we saw him in the in the League Cup. I think it's only the previous fixture in the League Cup that's where he looked good. Yeah, so very poor, very good, but poor finishing. Yeah, I think he has one thing that I think wingers need to have, which is that confidence on the ball, attitude, willingness to go at your man, again and again and again. Even when you miss chances, even when you make mistakes, you go again, you get the ball, you go again. And I think he will benefit also from having a fullback coming alongside him. Same thing if it's Estavayo on the other side. Same thing if it's if it's Pedro Neto on the other side. You have a fullback overlapping by their side. I think, both wingers would benefit from having, two actual fullbacks overlapping and underlapping. Because in the second half, I think Kurula began to support him a bit more. So I think that contributed to the game as well. And then, of course, João Pedro. João Pedro, for me, is someone I have been complaining about because in most games and in the first half of this game, it felt like he was just running within himself, like jogging within himself, not really looking to put defenders under pressure, or anything like that. So, but in the second half, he showed more intensity, he showed more aggression on the ball, he showed more ability to run at his man, which is something we want to see. If you want to play the Enzo Maresca style of play, you need your forward that would press. And you need the forward that would press from day one, from the first blast of the whistle, not wait till the second half before you attempt to do anything. Do I have a TikTok? I have a TikTok boy for general football discussion. I am on X as well. It's Chelsea. Ugo Talks Chelsea on X. Ugo Talks Chelsea. You can invite me on there as well. So if you have a YouTube as well, we could also do something on YouTube. So it's Ugo Talks Chelsea on X. Ugo Talks Chelsea on X, and I think I'm trying to also get my TikTok reactivated for the Chelsea account on X as well. So definitely would love to be on the stream with you as well. Do you want to come on screen? Should I share the link to the Should I share the link to the call? Would you want to come on the Blue Lounge? I know this is putting you on the spot, so yeah. So for me, that's the issue I have with the wingers. And then you look at the midfield. Yeah, Caicedo was Caicedo. Reece James played in the midfield a little bit. I think Andre Santos was good when he came on. He was fairly decent, although he got the yellow card. And then I have to say that I have to go back to the referee. This is why you have to get players that are way above the quality of the opposition. Because the referees, for whatever reason, what I want to say they are not good enough, what I want to say they are corrupt, what I want to say they just have it in for Chelsea or they have it in for certain clubs, they can ruin your game. They can absolutely ruin your game. And this referee, look at the fouls he was letting go for kicks on Palmer. He was letting kicks on Palmer go, and he would let Newcastle United go with the ball. And there was a foul that Fabian Schär committed on Robert Sanchez. He pulled him in the 18-yard box as he was about to start the counter-attack, throw the ball for a counter-attack. He pulled him down. The referee didn't do anything. But for a similar foul by Santos on the goalkeeper, he gave a yellow card, which is just madness. Like, how can you like just night and day? So for me, the top performers in this game, Sanchez, because the way he claimed those balls, people usually take how keepers they take how keepers claim the ball, in the air for granted, because he missed those balls, and then you're in your world of trouble, and the opposition can even score. So that's something that I think we have to seriously look at, in my humble opinion. And then, of course, we also have to talk about Reece James, phenomenal when he went to right back. I think he played very well right back. He played very well in midfield as well. But I think each time he plays in the midfield, Chelsea lose something. Chelsea lose the ability of someone that can whip dangerous crosses into the box. And again, he showed. He showed today. He showed so much with the Cucurella. I think it was fairly decent in the second half, because the first half, I don't think anybody would have gotten a 5 from me in that first half. The first half was absolutely terrible. Newcastle United were just all over them. And it's almost like sometimes these players, they forget the basic things. Because I think it's part of what Enzo Maresca has instilled in them, which is we are going to hold the ball till we have the opposition player standing on our head before we pass it. We have an opposition player standing ahead before we pass the ball, as opposed to once the opposition player makes a move, you let the ball go, so you keep them on the swivel. So I think that first half was absolutely poor. Second half is a lot better, but you have to win games like this. I know a lot of people will say, what a comeback. You have to win games like this if you want to finish in the top 4. Forget about title challenge. Title challenge is gone. Like, the kind of business the board does, the kind of players the board signs, doesn't speak title challenge. If you want to compete for a title in a league where you have Haaland, you can't have João Pedro as your number 1 option. You just can't. He is decent. He will get you goals like he did today. But over the course of a 38-game season, are you sure that he's able to get you goals in, let's say, even half of those? Like, can he get you 15, 16, 17, 18 goals? Not talk of 20 goals in the Premier League. I'm not quite sure. So, Chelsea fans, let me know your opinions on the game. How do you rate the players? How do you rate Garnacho? How do you rate Neto, Palmer? How do you rate his performance back from injury? How do you also rate Robert Sanchez's performance? Fofana, what do you think about Fofana? How do you rate him today? For his role in the goal, what do you think about it? Am I being too harsh? I felt like he had time to play the right pass rather than holding that ball for too long and you lose possession. Because sometimes when you go into games, you know how the opposition wants to play. Going to St. James's Park, you know they want to press you. You know they're going to press you. You know. So you don't dally on the ball. And Chelsea players dally on the ball for some reason. Some certain players were trying to showboat or whatever. You're not leading the league table Chelsea, we aren't leading the league table, with 6 clear points or 8 clear points. So you haven't earned the right, to showboat and play like the business. You're better than everyone else. You have to go into every game fighting. And the first half, they didn't fight, but second half they should fight top marks. But why I'm emphasizing the poor performance in the first half is because in many games or in most games, when you're 2 goals down, you end up not getting anything from the game. And even in games like this, where you end up getting the point, it's 2 points dropped. It's 2 points dropped if you want to compete. If your ambition is competing, for the Premier League title, then you should be, winning games like this. And Enzo Maresca right now, he's done a lot for his own back, because what he's come out to say about the 48 hours, these rumors about him leaving or not, he being the next the next an option for Pep Guardiola, if he leaves Man City, any poor performance will land on the table, will say he's not committed to the job. So I think he needs to start using his fullbacks. At least, even if you want to start with your fullbacks inverting, okay, go ahead. Fair play, right? Fair play. But when the game progresses, as the game progresses, you should be able to say, okay, the opposition is doing this thing that is making it difficult. Let's change it up. Let's allow fullbacks to overlap. Now, there's something I want to ask. If you're watching this, what do you think about about the way Maresca is handling Estavayo? What do you think about it? Some people are saying he's good, he's a young player, can be playing every game. But right now, the way he's seeming right now, he's not playing any games. It's not like he's not playing every game. He's not playing any games. He didn't play in the League Cup. He didn't play today, obviously. He didn't play in the Champions League game for Atalanta. And I'll say this again, the thing about South American players, they are very emotional. You don't really coach a South American player. You don't really coach them. You motivate them, go do your magic. That's how you do with South American players. You don't give them hard instruction. You just let them express themselves. And when you begin to bench them, you don't play him, and players in general, you begin to mess with his mind, and then you begin to eat away at his confidence. So I feel the way Maresca is handling, Estavayo isn't really the best. I was thinking he would have come up today 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the game, but he didn't even get to see him. So I think the way he's handling Estavayo isn't the best in my opinion. And what do you think about Chelsea's striking situation? We all know Liam Delap is out for the season. Not for the season. He's knock on wood. He's not out for the season. He's out until February next year. So, and before we know, getting match fit, maybe that'll be like March or thereabout before he gets to even be on the pitch. And I'm sure Enzo Maresca wouldn't want to rush him. So, what do you think the board should do? Go into the striker market. I know you have a Mega coming in, but he's not going to join the club this January window. He probably will still be with Strasbourg and then come back in. When do I say it now? Come back in August of next year. So should Chelsea double it into the January transfer window? Because right now you have Manguillo and João Pedro, but right now for me, I'm a big fan of Manguillo because of what he brings. He will press normally. You don't have to force him. He will press as of right, as of course, as a matter of fact. Once the game starts, Manguillo will press. João Pedro showed today that he can actually press, that he can actually run more than a mile per second. He can more than a mile in 30 seconds. He can actually run. He can actually put himself about when he wants to. But he doesn't do it as a matter of course. He doesn't do it naturally. So should Chelsea go into that transfer market in January? I'm thinking maybe Chelsea should. Maybe go for Barry. The Everton striker, go for Tieno Barry. because I'm not too confident about I'm not too comfortable with just having McGee and João Pedro, because João Pedro is just too unpredictable for me in attacking as a striker. He's just too wasteful. He was clinical today with the chance he got, and he took it. But overall, all through this season, we've seen that he's not too, what I say, clinical. He's not very clinical, in my humble opinion. So let me know some opinions on that. And I will copy the link to this, and I'll drop the link to the this right here, link, and I'll drop it in the chat. So if you want to join the call, you can join it. So it's there. You can click the link and join the call. Want to know some opinions on this game? Let me know your player ratings. Now, big question. I know this off the back of drop points, in my opinion, but what do you think should happen to Mike Penders given how Sanchez has been this season? Should Sanchez still be Chelsea's number one? Should Mike Penders still remain at Strasbourg for another season on loan at Strasbourg? Or would you just say Robert Sanchez doing so well, maybe that attracts buyers from maybe Spain or Germany, and you send him off and then bring Mike Penders in? What would you do? Or would you bring Mike Penders and make him a number two? I think that would be counterproductive. I think the day you bring Mike Penders to Chelsea, he should be number one. Either comes to Chelsea to be number one, or he goes to another club. Because looking at the way it looks right now, I just feel like bringing him to be a number two wouldn't work that well for me. Rob Sanchez has been decent this season. I'll give him credit. He has been decent this season. Although you always know Rob Sanchez is Rob Sanchez, and he always has, some dumb moments up his gloves. So hopefully we see less of those. And then Cucurella today, he looked shaky in the first half, but overall I think it was decent second half. Chalobah today, it was okay. It wasn't too great, but he was okay in my humble opinion. Fofana, I blame him for the goal conceded. And then looking at midfield, Caicedo was good. Reece James was okay. I think Enzo Fernandez, he came on in the second half. I think he was a game changer because how he helped control play in midfield. I'll give him credit for that one. João Pedro, absolutely poor the first half. Very good second half. And so, some opinions on the game. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the game. Because overall, this is a points drop. These are the sort of games you win. And so for next Chelsea fixtures, just quickly check Chelsea fixtures. So the next one is against Aston Villa. It's against Villa. So that's why this game was important to win. But, well, a point better than none. So going to that Villa game, it depends if Villa, because Chelsea is chasing down Villa. Villa is sitting at third right now. Chelsea had the opportunity to close up the gap, but didn't take it. So you're going to play Villa, then you're going to play Bournemouth at home, and then Man City. So looking at these three games, Chelsea should be winning Villa and Bournemouth, but that may not happen. You may be surprised that Chelsea could drop points against Villa and Bournemouth and go and beat Man City, or play very badly against Bournemouth and Villa and go and play very well against Man City. So those sort of inconsistencies just won't fly in my humble opinion. So let me know your opinions on how you think Chelsea will play. So if you're new, please hit the subscribe button for the channel. Share the video as well. Share the channel as well. Want to be more consistent on here. Want to be more consistent on this channel. So please subscribe to the channel so I know that we are enjoying what's going on here. So at this point, I'm gradually coming to the end of this review. Chelsea absolutely crashed at St. James's Park. Disappointing result. Yes, you can take positive from the second half, but it's not a game where you're super excited, where you're punching the air, where you're saying, yeah, wonderful display. It's not a game you want to celebrate. It's not a game you want to celebrate. It's a game that you're hoping that, okay, you can build up what happened in the second half. Poor play. So, but I've come to the end of this video, and I will see you on another video on this channel. There's an Up Chelsea TV news that will be coming up. part of what will be on the channel, so keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be doing reaction videos on the channel for players that are linked to Chelsea come the January transfer window and actually signed by Chelsea come the January transfer window. So keep your eyes peeled for all that on the channel. So at this point, I've come to the end of the video, and I'll see you on yet another video. Stay well, and definitely